Hello, my friends. How are you doing? How are you doing? It is Monday and we got some Monday moves on the chart. What's up? How are you doing, YouTube? Hope you have a good start of the week. Hope you had a good morning or start of the afternoon if you live in the Asian time zone. And yeah, beginning of the week here. Bitcoin moving, and I saw it kind of like breaking out of at least the local range. So I was like, hey, that's a great moment to go live and see if we can catch anything on the chart. Because this is the level that we spoke about in the morning update, right? We were looking for either the high or the low to be taken to change the probabilities of the scenarios that I was looking for in the morning. And we will go a little bit about what we saw locally here before this happened, and also the consequence of this move for what is potentially to come from an Elliott Wave's point of view. So yeah, what we're going to cover in this stream for about an hour till, let's say, like 2 p.m. Is of course Elliott Waves, and then we go into like chatting and answering questions and all the good stuff there as well. So what's up, chat? How you doing, Flotty? Good to see you here once again. Good afternoon. How's Austria? With the beautiful snow as well. Broncos, buenos dias desde España. How you doing, Broncos? Welcome, buenos dias. Pistachio. Wow, indeed. First time I see you with the green badge. There you go. The logo of the channel behind your name. Welcome, man. Good to see. Good to see. Thanks for the support. Hugo Raul Perez, buenos dias. How you doing? Abuzni Sok. Welcome. Good to have you here as well. I'm doing very well. Doing very well. Had a good morning. And yeah, a good week ahead, I hope. Good week ahead. I have my plans. I have my goals of the week, if you know what I mean, with my weekly planning and stuff. What's up? Jen, good to see you as well. How are you two doing? Abner Kabiet, let's go. Exactly. Let's go. That's why we live, no? Let's see what price gives us. Perseo, how you doing? Hungry Queens, aloha. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you here. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me here on YouTube. And what we're going to do, once again, is go through the scenarios as price now took the high, right? And, of course, also talk about what led up to price taking the high, right? So that is what we're going to do. Gustav, welcome as well. So, Elliott Waves. In the morning video, right, the morning update, which is the previous update, because I realized for me it's morning, but for many others it might not be morning, right? It's either midnight or it might already be afternoon. But the previous update that I posted about 6 hours ago, we spoke about this range mainly, with a few scenarios where I mentioned the importance of price taking the high or taking the low with regards to the probabilities of the bullish versus the bearish scenarios, right? So let's shortly cover that, right? Then we zoom out, okay? So we're gonna start local and then we slowly zoom out. Oh, by the way, the resistance above here is 44.3, 45.3K, just FYI, where the high time frame, or at least high time frame level, like we have a daily there at 44.972 and also a point of control at 45.2K. So that is a bit of resistance right there. Let me move my folders around so that everything I put on the chart ends up at the top. There we go. And there we go. Cool. Right. So bullish scenario, right? We had a few bullish scenarios. We'll cover both shortly because this was part of the morning update video as well. So we had the potential triangle here to finish a WXY. The WXY is a bigger range, right? We have WXY, Y being a triangle, W flat, X complex, Y triangle. In that case, what you're then looking for is this high to be taken. Right? You don't want to see the low taken, neither do you want to see this low taken because it's an invalidation. So we want to see this high taken which has now happened. So that's positive for this particular scenario, right? Doesn't mean it is absolutely correct, right? We follow up with what price will do, but this is nice. It's what we were looking for. In this scenario, we are, sorry, oh man, still hanging on. Jeez. In this scenario here, right? So first of all, if Y is finished, we are looking for a move to the upside. If Y was already finished over here, we are also looking for a move to the upside. Impulse, in this case, 5-wave structure, instead of a 3-waver. That is the main difference between the two. 3 waves for a triangle, 5 waves for potential 1. Then we look for 2 and continuation up in a 3 or a potential B as arguably ABC as mentioned in the morning update, but preferably if price takes this high, preferably the probabilities are on the side of an impulse, meaning a wave 5, right? Now locally, we're then of course looking 1-2 continuation or AB continuation. This led to a couple of things. This one is a new update. Bloop. So for all the bullish scenarios, we were looking for this high to be taken. Because if we count an impulse in a 1, 2, 3, we can also have another triangle, but also a WXY, where we then had a 3-wave A, 3-wave B, and then a wave C to the downside, still ending Y. This would still be bullish. Even if you would move to the downside, that is still one of these scenarios. So for the triangle here, finishing wave Y in a triangle, right? You want this high to be taken. We took the high. For this bullish scenario, obviously you want to take the high here. For this scenario here, you also wanted to take the high of X because W is already a zigzag, so Y can't be a zigzag. Y can only be a flat or it can be a triangle. Well, clearly it's not a triangle, so it can only be a flat in that case, right? So also in this scenario, to add probabilities, to give probabilities to bullish scenarios, you wanted to give or to take this high. In both this scenario as well as this scenario, we wanted that high taken first before the low taken. In the bearish scenario, where you're going to be looking for a bigger structure to the downside, we did not want to see this high taken preferably. It lowers the probabilities a bit, right? Because here we were then looking for A, B, C, D, E and a move to the downside. But we didn't get continuation. Instead, price moved back up above the high of this wave C, invalidating at least this triangle on my chart. So we can remove this scenario here, where, of course, a wave X in a potential bearish scenario can be complex, no? But still, there's only so many Elliott Wave scenarios that we can use, right? Wave X, if not a triangle, as just shown, because that is now invalidated, we have to think about flats, zigzags, internal WXYs, which is possible for a wave X as well. So shortly covering, if we look for an A, B, and then a wave C, right, and then a 5, 3-wave complex structure, and then a 5, then you take a trend-based fib from the low of W to the high to then, well, let's say the low here. Toggle on the wave C target area. And you can see that the most common target area for your wave C is actually all the way up here. So it's between a 1 and a 1.236. We hit the 0.618, which is a rare target for C, but it's very rare, right? So that is not preferred, let's say, right? So that's very, very high for a potential C. Now, if we look for a, and that's a 535, we can't think about a flat 335. That's not possible. Wave B did not retrace deep enough in a potential bearish scenario, right? And then we have W, then is a zigzag, then you have an X, and then you're going to be looking for a flat in Y, which then has to be a 3-3 and then a 5-wave structure, meaning you're still going to be looking for a 5-wave move up to finish X. So as it stands, we are at resistance here, no? But the probabilities are now edged towards the bullish scenarios because this high has been taken. That was the main message from the video this morning, where we were looking for either the low or the high to be taken first. No? So in this scenario, we wanted to see the high taken first for a potential bullish continuation, and also here, but then in this case for a flat and then eventually continuation. In both cases, you take the high first, and now we have to observe the reaction, because of course in a wave B, we want a three-wave structure, right? And then we want to see price moving down, while for a end of wave Y, we want to see continuation to the upside and see these highs taken at 46K. So we want to pass the resistance area that we have over here. Target area for this B, let's have a quick look. We are currently at the most common target area for a wave B, which is between the 1.236 and the 1.38. There we go. Make it a little bit nice. White. Ta-da. So it's important for price, of course, to pass this area to avoid a potential three-waver to the upside here, because we still have the flat potential. If we are looking for a 1, 2, 3 or an A, B, C, right? It adds probabilities to the bullish scenario still that we took the highs first, even if we would move down. And then there's a potential buy opportunity if we get it, depending on the reaction we get here. So we have this blue box here, 42K to 42.3K, and now we're at resistance. Very nice, no? Very, very nice. So in this range, we've been keeping an eye on this range, of course. The last stream we did, price was here, moving below the white box, retest, continuation to the downside, played out very nice, right? That, as mentioned, going back inside this range, below the white box, gives probabilities to a rotation to the low of the range where we had the lower white box. Oh, very nice. Reaction up. This was a bit of an odd situation, because this move here, it doesn't look like a nice impulse with the high impulsivity random candle we had over here. But yeah, we didn't see weakness. So arguably you have over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 1, 2 continuation or something. You know, it's not a, because of this push here, it's not too nice of a impulse in a wave 1. If we're looking for a wave 3, that is. And this move to the downside, sorry. Man, hopefully that's fixed soon, my throat, eh? We had bearish CVD divergences here as price was ranging, and it moved to the downside, right? Okay, but then we came back up and we had one time bearish CVD, two time bearish CVD, and this was the third time. Now, the more often you have bearish CVD divergences with the same pivot, the lower the probability of it playing out. We bounced on the little order block and the golden pocket, taken from the low to the high as well. Bit of confluence and price moving up here. And I wasn't confident at that moment. The moment we came back up here and also hitting the 886, taken from the high to the low, you know, probabilities change. You've tested this white box for so often now. So that then led to the high being taken. Okay, let's actually be more organized here and actually go through the folders. Give you an overview of everything, no? Quite similar to the video this morning, but just very short. This is your impulse, 5-wave structure to the upside, right? 4 either finish down here or preferably finished here, or you still have a potential, you know, 1, 2, but this is the end of 4, or you want to end it here and then up. Target area for your 5, 46.1K to 52.2K. Bullish scenario 1 is just covered, right? We were looking for this high to be taken after a potential triangle to finish wave Y, in this wave 4 being then a WXY complex sideways structure, after which we want to see continuation to the upside, and of course price passing the box that we have over here. The second bullish scenario is that Y finished here and you look for an impulse, meaning also continuation. But that means you're going to be looking for a 1, 2, 3 or an ABC. Preferably, price is finished. However, we also have this scenario here for a WXY, just in case price likes to come down for a 2 or a B. And then Y has to be a flat because there's no other option at the moment. W is a zigzag, Y can only be a flat now. So, or it's a running triangle, but with the volume here, it's not really something I'm looking for. So this is your most common target area for B. That is where we are at the moment. At a little bit of resistance as well during the stream. We can see and observe the reaction, see what happens here locally as well. And then you want to see a wave C down before a continuation up, where we also have some support around 42.3K, right? Still bullish if that happens. Macro bearish, end of a wave 5, you're going to be looking for a bigger retracement to the downside. Now probabilities are higher. This high here is a wave B or X instead of a 5. Expanding diagonal, ending expanding diagonal is very, very rare, right? Not preferred, which means probabilities higher. This is a B or X. Increasing probabilities, the move to the downside is a C or a Y, which therefore increases probabilities on the medium time frame that sooner or later you're going to take this high, either directly or a bit of a move to the downside, no? So in a bearish scenario, you would then be looking for this move being a 3-wave structure, by far preferred in the bearish scenario. A 3-waver instead of a 5-waver because of the truncated 5, which is never preferred. So then you have a W, then you look for an X and eventually a Y, right? But W is already a zigzag, so Y can't be a zigzag. Y can only be a triangle or it can be a flat. And we need to wait for X to finish as well, where arguably you look for a bigger 3-wave structure. And as just explained earlier in the stream, a potential triangle in X is now invalidated because price moved above this high. Which means that in a wave X, it starts to become a bit difficult, right? To look for a good bearish scenario here. Because we only have a potential A, B, C, but your common targets for C are up here, which is above the high. Unless you look for a bigger flat, that's still an option. But not preferred. So that would still mean targets are higher. If you look for a W, X, Y, then it's a zigzag, some complex X structure, and then Y has to be a triangle or a flat, right? Which means for a flat, it needs to do this, and for a triangle, this. But as long as it goes up, we're not thinking about that, right? So, yeah. Anything else? W, X, Y, A, B, C, W, W, X, Y. No, that's indeed it. So yeah, so probabilities now, because of taking the high, have switched towards the bullish scenarios instead of the bearish scenarios, which is very nice. Now, CVD, interesting always to observe the reaction. One thing I always say in live streams is that as long as price is moving because of our is pumping or dumping with volume, we need to wait for a range. Look at the volume, by the way. So price is moving to the upside now, and we are arguably at a resistance, a bit of a resistance area. However, as long as price keeps pushing, we just look for higher, right? With Elliott waves, I think it's one of the most important tips I always give. If price starts pushing, wait for a range, because the range will give you the information that you need to make other decisions, right? So locally, if we keep pushing, very nice, right? And else, we're going to wait for a range and a rejection and then take it from there. As long as we don't get a range or get a rejection, there's no reason to look for price moving to the downside. We need to wait for a range to happen. So now we are at a little bit of resistance. So yeah, that's basically it here, very, very locally, of course. And yeah. So the probabilities are higher for either continuation or a flat and then continuation. Because price took this high, probability switched to the bullish side now. Meaning Y is in continuation, or you look for B, C down, continuation. For B, by the way, A less common target is the 1.618, which is at the higher end here. Still a target, but going above this, yeah, well, you know, a continuation is expected. So, and then we can look for the resistance areas higher up as well. So, very nice, very nice. This range here has been very difficult to count in detail, of course, throughout the last couple of days. But at least this morning, with the move to the downside, and then when I wanted to record a video, we got this push. So it changed some things. So yeah. But now we're at resistance. Still not too happy with the beginning of this move here. It's a bit of a strange structure for an impulse. So I'm not yet sold on continuation unless we clear this box. Right? So we don't really have anything above the box. Let's see. No. So if we can clear the box, then I'd be looking for upside. 47, maybe higher, right? 47 here is the first area of resistance I have. 47.2, 47.5. But as long as we're not clearing this box, it's resistance. We also filled this gap now, by the way. So we have filled this inefficiency as well. So there's a daily range point of control of this previous range, order block as well. We filled the gap as well. So yeah, just a bit of resistance in that particular area. And now it's patience. No? If entries were taken, of course, preferably they were in the ranging area and not against resistance. No financial advice, but you know, makes sense, I suppose. If this box is cleared, then probabilities, of course, increase to get a bit of a move to the upside. It's another 3% if so. But for now, we're at resistance. And we still have this bullish scenario, still bullish, in mind, besides this one, right? We are never biased. We always need to be neutral in our bias, but try to find the best probabilities for Elliott waves. But our feelings are biased. Or unbiased, right? Because we don't want to trade based on emotion. We want to trade based on the probabilities, right? That is what we're looking for. Probability trading. So yeah, that being said, basically, we are now live. We're going to observe the reaction at this box here, see what's up, and maybe we get something interesting, no? So at the moment, we have a little bit of a rejection at resistance, as you can see, which is good to see. That's the reason why I have the boxes on the chart as well. And because of the volume, which is now sitting in the high, preferably price is not going to the 618. Chuck, let's keep these on. Because the highest amount of volume in an impulse should be a wave 3. But as seen in the range that we've been in for the past couple of weeks, there's also a lot of wave Cs that end on high volume. So what we keep an eye on is the Fibble that I took from the low to the high here for a potential 4, because after the, you know, if the most amount of volume is here, what we're looking for in an impulse is a 4 and a 5 on at least one more high on lower volume. If price retraces too deep and hits the 0.618, it invalidates a wave 4, lowering the probabilities of an impulse, unless you have another 1, 2 for continuation to the upside. But at the moment, it's not yet something that I'm looking for. Not yet. So Give price a little bit of time to react at the box here as well. Quite a solid rejection in this area at the moment. So I agree with Steve, by the way. We'll go into chatting in a second, answering all your questions. If we take a fib here, by the way, from this low to this high to this low, we can also see we are at potential Y or wave C territory, right? So there is that potential, no? That this is a C or Y instead of an impulse. And that is why we want to wait and observe the reaction. Okay, let's have a look. While we just wait for price to do its thing here locally. What's up, chat? How are you doing? Wow. Hasta la vista, Bobby. What's up? Martin van Huysen, ETF approved. I don't follow the news, so unless someone here knows, I don't know, but probably not. Else, I suppose we had some spam about it. The C in triangle and Y. The C in triangle and Y is too short. A, B, C. I see what you mean, because it's then about the proportions, right? But in the waves in a triangle, it's mainly about the structures. And you want to have 4 out of 5 waves being a zigzag structure, right? That's priority. So 4 out of 5 waves have to be a zigzag. One wave is not, or can be a zigzag family pattern and then a double or triple zigzag, but not a single zigzag. So 4 out of 5 waves have to be simple zigzags. If one wave is not, it's usually C and D, which then is a double or a triple zigzag. And wave E can sometimes also be a triangle. So then you have a triangle in a triangle. But this still works. Also, this is my personal opinion, triangles are most difficult to count. Many people also see, for example, a triangle shape, but very often it's a WXY. So until wave 4 in a triangle, which is wave D, is finished, there's still a lot of probabilities towards a WXY, which then usually leads to double fakeouts or single fakeouts. Because the rules of a triangle, I don't know, online are not always well understood. But the time in between the waves, of course, you want a certain degree of context. But the one wave being longer than the other is not a problem in a triangle. It's mainly the sub-degree waves. What's up, Errol Solomon? How are you doing? May I ask how the bounce from E in the bullish triangle scenario is impulsive? The wave 1 seems to be without a wave 4. Yes, I agree. Pistachio, by the way, he is a great Elliott Wave counter. Learned a lot over the past half a year. I suppose half a year, maybe even longer. But yeah, I agree. That's also, you know, what I mentioned is it's not a great start of an impulse, but you know, the chart is not always ideal. So that is why observing the reaction here is important from an Elliott Wave perspective. There's always still the opportunity. This is a 3-wave structure for then a flat, right? In an A, B, C, for then wave Y, find support and then move up. But then we want to see a rejection here, where preferably price hits the 0.618, which is sitting at 44.2K. So what we're looking here about, like, first things first, we're looking for a range. We are now at resistance here, right? Manage your trades well. If you are in long positions here, just manage them well, of course. You are your own trader. You have your own plan and your own strategy. But now we are at resistance and we just observe what price does here. But you are correct, Pistachio. Roller, fijne dag, fijne dag, goedemorgen. Goedemiddag trouwens. Goedemiddag. Steve Smith, Bitcoin going crazy. Yeah, a bit of a move to the upside. Bit of a move, but we observe the reaction here, see what price does locally. 46.4k top. 46.4k. 46.2k, we still have important resistance as well. That is the yearly level. So we have a yearly level at 46.2. That's interesting, no? Has been a learning journey, this range. I can imagine. It's been a pain in the ass, no? Like, of course, Bitcoin loves to range. So trading doesn't have to be difficult. If like, I think the best strategy for a very, very new trader is probably developing a little bit of a range trading strategy. You still need to know where to put your stop loss, but you know, range trading is quote unquote easy for people starting out, because you can identify support resistance levels, right? Or not even levels, just support resistance on the chart. That's also what I do here, no? So very, very clear. Resistance, right? Short dip above, but then resistance again. And then here we have resistance, support, support, support. And then it's like range trading stuff. But you still need to know where you put your stop loss. I mean, you know, at the beginning, when you only have this piece of the chart, you don't yet know you're going to go in a range, right? You don't yet know if you get continuation. But the moment you reject here, like again, that's when, you know, it becomes attractive to look for a range. And of course, you still need data on where, as mentioned, put your stop loss, what's your target, how much take profit are you going to take in the middle of the range and the high of the range, are you going to close or look for continuation, or, you know, but arguably it's one of the easier ways, I suppose. So the price can go up or down if that happens. Well, naturally, Athon, that is correct. But now that price took this high, as mentioned in the morning update, if price takes this, well, actually what I said is if price takes this high, probabilities increase for that high and that high. But this high was important and this high was low was important. If price can take this high, probabilities are high to take this high and look for the box. That's what I said in the morning video. We're now at the box. But because now the probabilities for bullish scenarios are higher compared to the bearish scenarios. However, there is still a bullish scenario where you do not see continuation, but you first move down once again, which fits the comment by Pistachio as well. This does not look like a great impulse just yet, right? If we can clear this target box and we get above 45.3k, close some candles here, confidence to move up, right? And then we have an important level at 46.2. But for now, as long as this is resistance, it's resistance. And it is nice resistance. So we still have that local bullish scenario for the ABC. So that is why this is arguably not a long zone, right? Either you pass it and then there is potential for a move up, or one entered already here and then, you know, you're going to be looking for a move towards the upside. But the fact price took the high does increases the probabilities a bit for continuation sooner or later, which matches the medium time frame probabilities, where also sooner or later we still look for the highs to be taken. But this is not a great start of an impulse, which Pistachio also mentioned very nicely. So here you have flat X, zigzag in Y, or you're going to be looking for, of course, continuation to the upside. And at the moment, from a CVD perspective, not much is going on. Bit of a rejection. All right, we'll see. Always remain patient. Pulkit Galot. What's up? Still looks bullish. This is the thing, right? We're at resistance. So as long as we not clear this resistance and close candles above, I am not looking for continuation, kind of like it's quite that simple, of course. Bit of a rejection, maybe we get a bit of a local range. We're going to wait and see and observe what price does, if it gives us a bit of local price action here. But we are still at resistance, right? So we want to see price moving. We just retested the value area high of this range. Preferably, of course, holding together with the support resistance area, because we know from experience, price dips below, we can see a rotation happening to the lower end of the range, which is of course not what we're looking for. At least not if you're looking for continuation, no? Abdul Karam Abunaji, I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you. It's been a good morning. And yeah, I still have to make my plan for this week with the goals of this week as well. This is the one from last week. But I had a good morning. How are you doing? Which website is good for crypto trading? I guess you mean an exchange. I personally use BingX. Link is in the description. Oh, that makes me think. For the traders here, like I mentioned it recently, but we got a new campaign or a new event, which is, I actually have to still, it's not in the description yet because I forgot about it. But it's this one. You can win. So over here, let me screenshot this as well. I still have to put the link in the description for you and in Discord as well. It's literally since today, but new event here for the existing traders. So if you do support the channel and you registered at BingX through the affiliate link, then you will trade on the platform anyway. So if you build up volume, you get like. You can do like you get a draw chance, right? For every 3K, you get a draw chance, and then you can get like bonus money and trial funds and whatnot, and an iPhone 15 in the best case scenario. But I still have to put the link in the description and stuff. I haven't actually officially announced it, so there we are. What's up, Bird Nest? How you doing, man? Amazing trader. You're an amazing trader. Good comment as well this morning. Bird Nest made a comment about the volume profile on the macro time frame, which indeed can change per chart. So if you use Bybit, your levels might be a little bit different compared to the Coinbase chart levels, right? But in general, it's about the zones that are interesting. Difficult and testy. Yes, it was. How do you determine the box around a point of control order block? So I look for confluences and then I put a box around it to clear my chart. That is how I have these target boxes. Basically all of these, even above the all-time high, I got resistance boxes. How about that? But it's based on confluences. So here we had the point of control of the previous range. We had a daily as well. 786 and the 886 are here as well. Order block, right? Filling the gap of this move to the downside. So a couple of confluences, therefore, target box. Because I don't want to have all the individual levels on my chart. It gets too much. I like very clean, structured, organized charts. And I can't cope with charts that are not. And if you would go to my channel, then there is one video in particular, paralysis, where I talk about how I make my target boxes, which is this one. One of the first videos I made back in the D. So how to avoid analysis paralysis in trading from cluttered to clean charts. This is the video where I explain about my target boxes and how I organize my charts. Because I can't cope with messy charts. I can't do it. Okay. Bloop. See ya. Oh, I have a better. Holy moly. Hide user from channel. the user's messages will be hidden. That's absolutely perfect. Okay. Wait, why are all the messages of Arbuzni Sok retracted? They're not deleted, but I didn't do that, right? You did that yourself, I guess. Okay. So, is it risk to take a long trade? I think that Steve gave a great answer here. Thanks, Steve, as well, by the way. But yeah, when you're at resistance, so of course it depends on what you identify as support and resistance, right? But I know from my analysis that my target boxes tend to be well respected. So personally, I'm not longing when we are inside a resistance target box. I want to see it passed, right? And I want to see some proof of support locally as well, no? So let's see what happens as price is just ranging here. This at the moment looks a bit three wavy, right? Rejection here. So there's three structures that you look for. If you're going to be bearish, you're going to look for an impulse down on the lower time frames, a diagonal, or a double 1-2, right? If we're looking for a rejection here. So an impulse would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we just moved back up, right? This is too high for a wave 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that doesn't work. Okay, then we have a potential diagonal, right? We have a zigzag in a potential, then wave 1. Then we need a wave 2. And then we need the other wave still to form. So we need to give it more time. Because in this case, I would look for a diagonal where all of the waves are zigzags. Zigzag in 1, zigzag 2, zigzag 3. A leading diagonal, if looking for downside, can both be impulse, zigzag, impulse, zigzag, impulse. But here having an impulse, zigzag, impulse, zigzag, this is very high for a 4 in a diagonal if you would make this a diagonal. So therefore I would prefer seeing zigzag, zigzag if we are looking for a diagonal. And then you have the double 1-2 where you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 down. So we just give it a bit more time. But yeah, for me, longing would have been part of the range and not where we are at the moment unless we clear the box. And then of course it depends on what you want to see with your strategy. So you know, that's also personal preference. What do you use to confirm an entry? Is it a candlestick pattern, a RSI, stochastic, CVD, some divergences, you know, market structure changes? Your focus is now on, well, my focus is on observing the reaction at the resistance here. Loads of trap longs currently. That's always interesting. Pistachio using order flow. Pistachio, do you use ATAS or ExoCharts? Hungry Queens, interesting to catch a high volume moment on live. Good stuff. Yeah, I agree. I saw price pushing here locally, and when it hit the local 886, which I took from this high to that low, that is the moment when probabilities are high to take the high. So that is when I started to boot some things up. Broke and tired. Oh boy. Oh boy. Tiredness and not being efficient in trading, in my opinion, do have a relationship. If you sleep bad or a couple of nights in a row, I think it can really affect your trading performance and also your mental state, which of course is very important in trading. I agree, yeah, Lucas, I agree. Look, for me, it's just a pump, not ETF related or whatever. It's just probabilities and yeah, you know, whatever happens with the ETF. If the ETF eventually does come through, what I would love to see is a big ass pump and then an enormous dump. That would be the best. Big pump to get more greed, more FOMO, more YOLO, make people buy, grab that liquidity to then push price back down. And then as price falls, hopefully very hard and fast, people get scared, they get stopped, and eventually we go down, 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 bit of a retracement, grab that liquidity, and then we'll see if price can manage to get back up again. Technic Exchanger, what's up? How are you doing? Can it give a pullback? Yes, we just had a pullback, finding support on the value area high. 0.618 long. Depends on your strategy. First of all, if you use the 618 in your plan and your strategy. But in my case, it's important for wave 4s as well as wave 2s. But the 618 is an invalidation for a wave 4. So I always like to keep my eye on it. Could it be a weekend flush? It could be anything, of course. But that's why we observe the reaction here. But the fact that price took the high, and I repeat it from the analysis. Oh, wait, I forgot. For people that just joined. Wait. Ta-da! Oh man, it's always a pain. YouTube, fix it. Okay, I need to wait for you guys to write like two more things before I can pin it. I want to pin my message. Oh, I can just do it like this. Beautiful. I had no idea. Just right mouse click. Baby Crocus, listen. There we go. We're not interested. Mark Dutch, what's up? How you doing, man? Welcome. Mark probably entering the chat and he's like, what the fuck did I get myself into? What is this shit? Where is the admin? Where is the moderator? Kun! Get me in there. Okay. So a double 1-2 is now invalidated, right? Because we're looking for, hey, could this be bearish or bullish? Now, there's a three-wave structure to the downside. Could be a zigzag, right? Can't be a double 1-2 anymore because this 2 is too high. Diagonal, then you want to see a three-wave move up. This still looks like a singular move, so you still want this. If it just continues, probability is higher to continue, no? And an impulse is already invalidated. So let's put a little fib here from the low to the high. Keep an eye on that 886. And from the low, what happened here? I think we hit the 05. Oh, there. Wicked into the 05. That's nice. So, cool. Continue to observe. Could be this for 24. Only A. Then we're not for me yet, because from 25 to 46 looks, of course, a lot more three-wavy at the moment. So on the higher time frame, if you zoom out, wait, from from 25, that's here. Wait, what's the question? Only A, then B, and then C. Well, the problem is you can't only count this and then an A, B, C like you say. What is this structure going to do with what you're looking for here? It's a relationship between each other, right? So what you're then looking for is a zigzag, right? This is what you mentioned. You're going to look for a zigzag here. But if you're looking for a zigzag here, then the only way you can include this part is a potential double zigzag, because then you're going to be looking for a WXY double zigzag to the upside, which means you also want to be able to count a zigzag in this structure here. So you then need to count another ABC here. It's not the nicest, by the way. And then an X and then a Y, where this is then your second leg, right? WXY double zigzag. But as it stands, it's not one of the scenarios that has the highest probability. The ABC at the moment has a higher probability. As long as we don't see a solid drop to the downside, right? Because that's what you're gonna be looking for in then a wave B, of course. Yeah. Yeah, that's the guy probably. Hide from channel, by the way, means that people are not banned. They can still watch my content, they can still comment, but I will never ever see the comment. You will never ever see the comment. or them being in live chat. They're literally hidden. They're like ghosts. They think they're chatting, but they're literally chatting to themselves because, you know, we can't see their stuff anymore. Is there a theory or method of understanding or visualizing of wave counts in bear or bull markets? Well, the wave counts in a bull or a bear market, is pretty much the same, I wanted to say, because in the end, a bear market or a bull market has the same patterns, right? It's the same structures, 5 wave moves, corrective structures, ranges. So there's not necessarily something that is specific. What is specific, however, is that if you are in a trending environment, right, a strong trend, you tend to see more rare patterns occur, meaning running flats, for example, have a higher probability of appearing in a very strong trend compared to a weak trend or a range, where a running flat, if you have a strong trend to the upside and you get an A, B, C, but it doesn't take the low of your A and it moves back up. So you continuously have higher lows in a strong trend, preferably supported by bullish CVD divergences as well. That's something that I would keep my eye out for at that moment. So that is more trending specific compared to ranges. But between bull and bear markets, it's pretty much, it's the same. Yeah. Long shallow too. Yeah, so rule of alternation is what you're referring to, right? The rule of alternation states, by the way, wave 2 most commonly is deep, simple, and short, which usually is a zigzag based on paper, right? Probabilities. So rule of alternation states if wave 2 is simple, short, and deep, wave 4 tends to be complex, shallow, and long in time. If wave 2 is long, shallow, complex, wave 4 gets a higher probability of being simple, sharp, and deep. Simple, deep, and short. However, there's also still a high probability for wave 4 to also become complex, shallow, and long. Well, cracks my brain. So yeah. What is your most probable scenario? Well, the fact that we took the high of the range here increases the probabilities now for bullish scenarios where we were either looking for this wave Y in and then you look for continuation. However, it's not the nicest impulse to start with. So there's arguably still an argument for a 3-wave structure, but that fits the other scenario. So either Y in and then you look for continuation, or you look for then a flat, which is still bullish as well. And then a WX, and then you have your Y flat, A, B, C. This is your area of rejection in confluence with the target box. Now, if you move above this box here, right, we are now at resistance. If you can move above the box, probabilities increase for continuation. Now, what is important with these bullish scenarios is that if you're going to be looking for a wave C down, you want to see an impulse from the high down, either an impulse diagonal or a double 1-2, which is something we covered just now a little bit. I'll jump into the lower time frames in a second. But just to reiterate, short summary, bullish scenario here, you look for this high to be taken before the low, right? Okay, that happened. Then we had, in this scenario, W is already a zigzag. Y cannot be a zigzag, can only be a flat or a triangle. In both cases, this high will be taken first, either in a flat, preferably high taken, right? Or a triangle, range, high taken. Okay, we took the high, cool. In a bearish scenario, which I already removed, it seems. In the bearish scenario, we were then looking for potential WXY, and then inside X, a triangle, A, B, C, D, E, down, invalidation taking this high. we took the high, which now gives it gives a few limited options for your X, because if you're looking for a WXY, and the reason, look, on a medium time frame, go to the beginning of the stream, probabilities are high to still take this high sooner or later, because the probabilities are higher. This is a wave B or a wave X compared to a wave 5. That increases the probabilities. This move down is a wave Y, or this whole range is a wave Y in a triangle, or a wave C. Well, a wave C becomes quite unlikely seeing the range of this structure. So I prefer looking for a wave Y, which then leaves us with two options, a zigzag or a triangle, right? Now, if we look for a zigzag, then we're looking for a 1-2 continuation up, right? And for a wave 2, you could still have your WXY, right? But wave C has to be a impulse. So we need to look for impulsive structures from the high down, if that's the case. While for a wave Y finishing here, you look for continuation. And in the bearish scenarios, that's where we were. If we're looking for a WXY, well, a triangle doesn't work anymore in X. So we can cut that one out, which then leaves us with either an ABC, a WXY. In an ABC, we can think about two structures. We can think about a zigzag, or we can think about a flat. Now, if we think about a flat in a bearish scenario, you're going to be looking for wave B to at least hit the 0.9 Fibonacci of wave A, which clearly is a fib that we have not hit. So low probabilities, or it's not even an option, that we are in a flat. Okay, so then we think about, can we be in a zigzag for X and then a Y down, right? You label this a W, by the way, at the moment. First things first. Then an ABC. 5, 3, 5 zigzag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we need a 5-wave move, 3-wave corrective structure, whatever that structure is, and then another 5-wave move up. Now that corrective structure can be a triangle, can also still be potential flat, right? And then you look for continuation up. Reason being, if this is your A and this is one of these two lows, is your B depends on your pull, this would preferably be the end. But your wave C target area now is going to be all the way up here, taken from the low of W to the high of your A to, well, even if we take the lower low here, this is your common target area at 47K, right? The 0.618 is a rare target area, which is where we are now, but it's a rare target area for a reason, right? It's very rare for a wave C to turn around at the 0.618. So there's other scenarios that would have a higher probability. Then we have a WXY. This needs to be a 3-wave structure, ABC. Then we have a W. You need a wave X of some sort, and then a Y. Now, because wave W is a zigzag, Y can only be a flat or a triangle. Yeah, W, X, and then what, right? We can't count a triangle here because of the move to the upside. So this can't be the low of your X. If this is the low of your X, well, we're not having a flat at the moment, right? As well as a triangle. So you can see it becomes difficult, right? To look for scenarios where you're looking for a bigger move down. If price takes this high, the bearish scenario is going to become a flat. So just so people know in preparation, this is how I like, you got to think ahead, right? So of course, if price then takes this high, your bearish scenario is going to be an ABC, or locally an ABC. Bullish scenario is of course continuation. So yeah. Ta-da! Oh, very low time frame, of course. Let's have a look. Yeah, not too much happening now. On the, this is the CVD. Just checking. So if we are looking for a wave C to the downside or any impulsive structure, again, 3 scenarios: impulse, diagonal, or a double 1-2. Impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you know, it's a bit difficult to count an impulse here, no? Unless you're 1 flat in 2 and then a 3. But that is very long. Oh. Yeah, so flat doesn't work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We never got a 4 and 5. This 4 is too high. So, okay, low probabilities for an impulse at the moment, right? Then we think about a diagonal. Zigzag up, or zigzag down. We want to see a zigzag up, but at the moment we don't. Because you want to see a bit of a B and then a move up, right? So diagonal at the moment, not great, unless we get a move down and another move up. So we need to give it then more time. If it continues pushing, well, that's not what we want to see in a diagonal. And in a double 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, invalidated. So, yeah, we just remain patient here and observe what price does. But based on the 1 minute structure, this is 1 minute counting, hey guys. So take it with a grain of salt. 1 minute is always, I usually go 15. This is my thought process when I would count for structures. So it increases probabilities to take the high because it becomes difficult to count bearish structures. But as long as this is resistance, or we're at resistance, no? We want to see the box flipped, basically. What's up, Tim, by the way? Maybe an SFP. Of the high, then, I guess. You think it will retest the resistance and drop back? Oh, well, we actually just went over it. I sent you a DM in Discord. Do I have to read it now, Mark, or later? Spamming. What's your thought on stacks? What do you mean with stacks RR? You mean stocks or stacking orders? Or what do you think of COSPA? I have no idea. I don't know COSPA myself. I don't trade it as well. My message is retracted because I fucked up with my questions 5 times. You're smart. Luckily, I know you've been here more often, and I know you're a respectable human being. But if I see people that join here and go and start spam the shit out of whatever, they can fuck off. You know, it's quite simple. Can you comment on the current volume? Yeah, nice push. The thing with the volume, of course, this can be wave 3 volume as well as wave C volume. We now hit the 886 locally, by the way, which is an important little thing because it increases probabilities to also move towards the upside. So that is then something that we can at least keep our eyes open for. Now, what price does like to do is if it hits the 886, it likes to retrace to the golden pocket. That is why I have this FIP template as a template, right? Of course, it doesn't always, especially on the lower time frames, things are a bit more gimmicky, but 886 now touched, increases probabilities that this move to the downside over here is a corrective structure. And if price retraces from this 886 to the downside, then probabilities are higher, it's a wave C or Y, which increases probabilities to go back up and take this high at a later stage, or we just continue. Golden pocket is usually important potential support for then a move up or down, and if down, C or Y increased in probabilities to then move up later. So, good question. Exo charts, trap longs, red band, but now a lot of longs open and look like a 3 wave down. So possible for an SPO diagonal. Yeah. And now we're about to take the high. What's up, Tim? I know, going down 31K for sure. Tim, you're still stuck with weeks ago, my fiance had a little bit of a fun guess because she isn't involved in trading. So we asked her live on stream, like, hey, what do you think? She said 31K, and that was when price was at 35 or 36. She was wrong. Luckily, she's not a trader. That's what they were in the date of when it actually traded and live. That's probably when I done. Oh, yes, exactly. With the ETF. Yes. Nice bounce on the value area high. Absolutely. Is it possible we have an expanding wave C of wave 4? One, two, three, four. This wave 4 is too short. If you would 1, 2, if this would be your count, you definitely want a bit of a longer 4. Did we take the high? Yes, we took the high. Potential for a swing failure pattern, as Pistachio mentioned as well. But this is just, you want, look, a wave 4 is usually longer than a wave 2. So if you would be looking for a wave 4 here, you prefer to have it this, at least a bit of an equal amount of time as your wave 2, no? Now that we took the high, we can remove this from our chart, right? And now the story repeats. We wait, no? Patience. We literally wicked it as well, by the way. Where is the resistance? 45,283. I'm waiting for a bearish divergent opening of a New York session. Yeah, it's always interesting to see New York open. No? Push up, chat. Chat did. We took the high. Probabilities were higher for the three-wave structure, right? We observed it, right? We went over these scenarios. Impulse diagonal double 1, 2. Didn't look too great. 886 touch. Higher probability to take the high, which we now did. And now we repeat the same story, or we look for continuation if price can flip the box. A lot of patience in trading is necessary, right? Patience, calm emotions as well. No need to risk big or YOLO, FOMO, catch nice, right? Yo, Mike, what's up? How you doing, man? Good to have you here. What's up, Kay? Exciting morning. Exactly. What's up, Anoop? Good to have you here. Yeah, it's a nice morning. It's a nice beginning of the week. It's quite interesting because Mondays are generally quite okay. You know, they're quite volatile days. Market opens again. Sometimes when I wake up, because Asia has been trading, stuff already happened, right? Asia is already moving the market up and down and whatnot. And then I wake up and volatility is over. But today it's a good day for the London session. So today delayed, please a pullback to 32.36. I think eventually that's a solid target, but a bit early for me at the moment, I think, regarding the higher time frame scenarios. What's the 05? 1 second, let me check. We have 34.8. Has potential if price would move to the downside at least. First. What's up, Gwendy Zoo? How you doing, man? Creeping to the 886. Oh, well, those triple zigzag. Triple zigzags are rare. So definitely not a lot. So a triple zigzag is a rare corrective structure. And the 26th. Oh, this move down. Yeah. For now, like what this move down is, we don't have to count it anymore because it's not relevant for the current scenarios. So I would count this. I think I counted this as a double. So you have your, was it this? Or was it this? Either or, not completely sure anymore. But I don't want to spend too much time on what price did here. But just know a triple zigzag is a rare corrective structure. So it's always best to first look at others. A triple zigzag can easily be confused with a double zigzag, by the way, which is a bit more common. currently working as support. Ah, there you go, 200 SMA. So a little bit of support here as well as the value area high then, of course. Oh, I skipped your question about flat and continuation. Flat and continuation weekly. Flat and continuation weekly golden pocket lies on signal taken from how Y wave must well, wave Y has to be an impulse as an ABC. If so, wave B ended and C must be yes, correct. That's correct. Wave C has to be a 5-wave structure. True. You're right, Arbuzni Sok. Sorry that I skipped your question. For now, I can kind of keep up with you guys, like with chat. How many people are here now? 200 plus. It's okay-ish, but sure. When we had 500 viewers, I couldn't. I need to learn to then not skip questions because it's not on purpose, but it's more like skimming. Skimming, that's the right word. Where just like on Twitch, right? When I used to be a professional gamer in the past, and I was streaming with also hundreds of viewers, chat just goes. And whenever you have the time, you check and you see a message, you reply, and that's how, things roll. We didn't have that problem for a while on the channel, but we're getting there. But you're correct, mate. Can sentiment ever cause chaos? For me, not really. Of course, sometimes news can be a pain in the ass because some news events can be very volatile and like you can have a 1-minute candle that's very big or leaves a very big wick, which can then be difficult to count nicely. The latest example of that was during the move up, right? Remember that fake ETF thingy with the intern? It's pretty difficult to correctly identify what this candle represents from an Elliott Wave point of view. But it's a big candle, right? Big wicks do tend to get filled. Eventually it did. But then what I focus on, if we get something like this, is I focus on, and there we go again, the range after. I always wait for a range. And then depending on the range and what we see in the range, the waves, CVD, other stuff, that is when I reassess my probabilities. So, yeah, sentiment, I suppose sentiment, but then in combination with something that causes extra volatility, I suppose. Because sentiment is always there, right? There's always sentiment. There's always greed and always fear. Depends, of course, where price is, what's higher. At 15K, arguably it's fear. Now it's, I don't know what greed says, 70, 80 maybe. So people buy, people sell, but we of course follow the waves and take it step by step. It will show us what price wants to do. Let's see what it wants to do locally. Oh. 43K. That is one of the scenarios, still bullish, one of the potential bullish scenarios. But then we want to see impulsive structures from the high down, and we need to give price more time, right? We just took the high. We identified on stream that probabilities were higher to take the high. We did. Now we just wait. Patience. Because there's two bullish scenarios, continuation or arguably a flat here in a Y. And if price would move down, that's also for Abuzniak, I believe, Sok, right? If you would get a move down, of course, one has to, again, observe the reaction. You want to see proof of support because there's always then the probabilities for continuation, right? We want to better be safe than sorry. We're not in the business to catch knives, of course. Someday, maybe, that's true. It can do anything, that is correct. 47K first. Yeah, it has to pass this area though. And 46.2, don't forget, is an important resistance as well. That's where the yearly is. This one here. Oh wait, where is it? Where is my... where's my... Oh, I removed the daily as well. Lol. 1 second. Let me I apparently removed it. Nice. There we go. Put the yearly back in. 46.2. We also had a daily at like 46 just above. There we go. Better. So, resistance, right? Especially that yearly level. That's interesting. New York Forex opened just now. I think New York for me opens still in about like an hour and 15 minutes. BingX still to retake the high. It does increase probabilities. If some charts have taken a high and other charts have not, it does increase probabilities to take the high. Same happened here, by the way. I think on Binance, on one of the Binance chart at least, the high was taken. The wick was lower, but the high was taken. It does increase probabilities to then take the high on other charts as well. Let me put my stuff back on, by the way. So, voila. There we go. Bro is up again, and maybe you're still going from yesterday all-nighter over. What's up, Kenny? For a second I was like, wait, is bro in coin? Is bro like an altcoin? Bro is up again. Like I was like, bro is up again. Altcoin? Is there an altcoin? But from yesterday all-nighter live stream. Yeah, imagine all-nighter live stream. Jeez, I'll be dead. 24-hour crypto live stream? Man, there's no way. I can do a day probably. What's up, Kenny? Good to have you here. Bybit also still has to take the high. From 47.4k, what needs to happen to take the low from 15? Is enough only a wave C and 5 waves? Yes. But then we're talking about a very high degree wave C, which means you're going to have multiple 5 waves, like you're going to have 5 waves in the wave 1, 2, like, okay. So each impulse, right, each wave 1, 3, and 5 have an internal 5 waves. So if you can count an impulse on a 1 hour time frame, it means you have also impulses on the 5 minute, but they are a sub-degree of the 1 hour wave 1. So 1 hour wave 1 has 5 waves on the 5:50 minute to make that 1 hour, you know. So if we're talking about a daily time frame impulse to the downside, we're going to create many lower time frame impulses to get that low. But of course, we want to see proof of resistance, and we want to see market structures that would fit that scenario. BTC IUD already took the Jan 2nd high. Ooh. Ah, I remember Liquid Mafia looking at the BTC AUD. Could be leading, no? Could be leading, could be interesting. What I mean on expanded wave C and wave 4 is from 45.8. $45.8 high, that's this one. 44, wait. Then this as 1. And then 40 as 3, and now the wave 4. Oh, no. No. That's not possible. No. So, I know what you mean. Though. So, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A couple of things that are important here that would invalidate that being an impulse, right? Is if you count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your wave 4 retraced way too high, right? Besides, like, because it's far above the targets for a wave 4. Besides, your wave 4 is too long in time compared to your wave 2. It's out of context. You now also have overlap between your wave 1 and your wave 4 here as well, which also lowers probabilities for an impulse, because then you have to think about a diagonal, because an impulse is not allowed to have overlap between 1 and 4. So you got to think about either a diagonal or double 1-2s. But that is not what we're thinking of at the moment from this high to the downside. So sorry, I had to think there for a second. What do you think about Bonk? I don't know Bonk, but at the moment I'm not doing the altcoins. So another day though. We're gonna do an altcoin stream where for like 5-6 hours I'm gonna analyze altcoins. So everyone can throw their altcoin in, and we're gonna do a voting as well. Should be quite exciting. Dutchie, Stino. 1 second here. There's no way. 1 second. I need to write a friend of mine now. Let me shortly screenshot that message. Because a friend of mine is called Stein, and his alias is Stino. So just in case, there's no way. He writes Stino with double I. But what's up? How you doing? Do you have any free Elliott Wave lesson recommendation? Yes, in the description I have 2 links, which are public websites that you can use, which I think are very good websites. The first one is Elliott Wave Detailed, which arguably for me is the best one, which is this website here. So open this, bit.ly/EW Detailed. This is an amazing website, so I can definitely recommend this one. Also with the pictures and what is common and less common and stuff. And then Elliott Wave Tough. Of course, not always everything is 100%, but you know, based on experience, you will know what is good and not good. But these are 2 very, very good websites. This one is very detailed as well. So I would recommend both of them, to be honest. I think both of them are good. And then, so those are just public websites. And if you would like more feedback or whatever, just jump in Discord. You can always ask me questions. But in the gold membership, I have an Elliott Wave course there with all the stuff that I use and I know, and the fibs and the templates and all that stuff. And we have a weekly stream as well with questions, feedback and Q&A stream. Always fun, always packed now as well. So let's see, locally, well, we're still in the box. Wick the high, little bit of a move here. It's not too much happening, of course. Let's go to the 1 minute, see what's up. Oh. Yeah. Still needs more time. We just remain patient, right? We are at resistance, and we just remain very patient. Ascending triangle in the daily time frame. I guess people would then be talking about this. But this for me is not a triangle. But I guess I would understand why people think it is. Because you have your top and the highs moving up, right? So, but yeah, it's from an Elliott Wave perspective, it's not something that I look for, because that's where the rules of a triangle become very, very important. Right? I think the triangle is probably the most difficult, most misunderstood pattern in the whole of like crypto YouTube, because the moment a triangle, like the moment you can pull two trend lines and you get a triangle shape, people very quickly call it a triangle, but many people don't seem to know the exact rules. So so Paulo Lobo, of course, thanks for mentioning. This is nothing, of course, against you. It's great that you actually have an eye for a triangle, right? Especially a wave 4 can be a triangle. So, of course, it can be a structure to keep an eye on. But what I struggle with is when I see a triangle, I want people to talk as well about these subdegree waves. That is where the importance of a triangle lies. So you can have the shape of a triangle, but it can still be a WXY, or even a flat at times, but usually WXYs mimic triangle-ish price action. So you need to really watch out. So that is where the rules of a triangle come into play, which is also the reason why triangles very often are having or experiencing fake outs as well, because it's not a triangle. News came regarding the fees. 46K. Testing resistance. I want to see a move. Yeah, we all. Ave Medina, what's up? How you doing? I know it's not Bitcoin, but throw up BRK A chart. Future BTC. BRK.A. What's that? Berkshire Hathaway. 55K. The Berkshire Hathaway. Maybe one day we'll be analyzing those type of charts. Bybit has ceased trading in the UK. I think in the Netherlands, I think you can still use Bybit. I'm not sure. But Bybit does try to partner with other exchanges to make sure people can still trade, I believe. But I don't know exactly what's happening there. That's when the session starts, as it's open and doesn't close. But yeah, close to breakout. Yeah, it's still ranging, no? How to make your own... well, personally, I don't know. I mean... Sorry. I know how to make my own AGGR, of course. But it's... If you go to AGGR, I think this is the simplest way. You don't need too much info for this. And you click indicators, right? Can you see this? Yes. And then you click on the like CVD perp. You click on the dots. You can click on edit. And then you can over here put in the code for what platforms you want to include, and you can download my template in Discord and use it as a basis. But there's also many people that have their own templates, and now of course it removed again. 1 second. Hopefully it's not saved. Now I have to re-upload. It always happens when I do that. I have to re-upload the template somehow. When I then remove it, it doesn't matter. I'll fix this after. Look, now my code is gone, funny enough. I don't know why that keeps happening, but yeah, it happens. So, but you can change that piece of that piece of code, I suppose. Now, one guy that does know everything about CVD and making own templates is Dario in Discord. He is the guy. He made a whole explanation on how to do it. Yeah, it all starts with adding the indicator and then add CVD, right? So you can just search and then you add one. At the moment it is. Wait, 45K to 42K. A wave. Looks like an overshooting B wave. Then you're talking about this one here. 45 to 42 was a 3-wave move. Yeah, so probabilities are higher. This is a corrective structure, which indeed leads to probabilities being higher to take this high sooner or later. Right? It doesn't have to be immediate. We first have to pass resistance. But you are correct. Probabilities are higher. This is a 3-wave structure to the downside. Yes. Because if it's an impulse, we have to think about truncation. But truncation is very, very rare to have truncated moves. The top will be before 48 too. Possibly. We have some solid resistance to the upside. Absolutely. Denk het niet goed uit Apeldoorn. Ja, ik denk het ook niet. But it's fun to see the name of my buddy as well appearing in the chat, Stino Gaming. But his name is Stino, not like Stino Gaming per se. But you know what I mean, right? So it's fun to see it. Would you prefer some sort of move higher first? Yeah, at the moment we don't see too much weakness just yet. So we still have some resistance above, of course, 45.2 here, the point of control of the previous range. If we can flip the blue box, meaning this last red line on the chart, you know, be looking for higher and continuation. Bit of a 3-minute CVD, yeah. Now, let me refresh. Let me remove. Oh wait, let me just upload a new file here. Oh, by the way, you want to see all my screenshots? Look. Keep things simple, everyone. I do want to update, by the way, my thumbnails. It's not screenshots, but thumbnails. I do want to update them and make them a little bit more neat in the words and the coloring around the word. Elliott Waves and Bitcoin. But I'm not an editor. So if there is any thumbnail guy here, feel free to send me a message sometime. I don't want to necessarily change the whole style, right? Because people recognize the videos based on the thumbnails. But cleaning some stuff up is always an idea. Okay, trading, AGGR, Bitcoin, open. Import, yes. Ta-da! We back. That's what we like to see. Okay. People got smarter. It's a good assumption to have. It's a positive assumption to have as well. We're about to make bullish on blue line if we go down a bit lower. We did actually have bullish CVD on blue. It plays out if price takes the high, which it almost did. Not yet though. But now locally again we hit the 886. Remember? Probabilities higher. Any move to the downside is a wave C or Y, increasing probabilities to take the high later. We didn't take it. Oh, we just missed out. This is 1 minute stuff, right? So it's a bit like I prefer 15-minute things, but Elliott Waves in general on all the time frames have equal rules, of course. But the lower you go, the quicker things change and things might be a bit more out of context compared to, let's say, 15 and higher. Do you have any longs or shorts? Always like the question. It depends on your plan, of course. If you want to go long or short, as I have my plan and my strategy to trade, which of course in Diamond people will know. Gee. Hoi Koen. Can you take a look at Ethereum? Well, at the moment we're mainly focusing here on what Bitcoin does, but soon I will do an altcoin stream. I mean, sometimes it's weird, like Ethereum and altcoin. It's like Is it not? But we will definitely do like the alts very soon and go through a lot of them as well. I'm planning like 5-6 hours of altcoins. People vote and we just go through all of them. But I also have to go. I'm now online for, how long are we online for, everyone? 1 hour and 40 minutes. So very soon I have to go again to continue my day, where I have some stuff to finish or start. I mean, it's the beginning of the week as well. So, but I actually would like to see what happens just locally here, no? I mean, you guys, everyone here, you know what I'm looking for. So we've done the analysis part already, right, at the beginning. We observed the reaction here to the downside, remaining very patient. We couldn't identify solid impulsive structures down. Then the 886 got hit. Both increasing probabilities to take the high. We took the high. And now we're ranging again, no? 886 hit again. So I would like to see if we can at least take this high and see what happens next if price does. Volume definitely slowed down here, no? Trading always requires a lot of patience, no? And generally, I'm not really a guy that sits on the 1 minute. So the way I trade is one pair, one strategy, one time frame, 1% risk. It's basically ones everywhere. So I'm generally someone that sticks around on the 15-minute for most of the day. I rarely ever go lower. I do tend to sometimes go higher to not observe all the small little movements on the market. And then I either go to the 1 hour, which is a time frame I like, or the 4 hour. When I'm doing other stuff, for example, during the day, I like to have a 1 hour or 4 hour chart on, so that I don't see all the little movements all the time, but it's just more contextual. It works better. What would you do if it takes the high? Observe the reaction. So look, we're at resistance, and we still have resistance above. So unless price can flip this box, we're at resistance, and so we still in resistance, even if we take the high. So what you want to see is price flipping this red line here, 45,283, which is the point of control of this range. So that is an important area on the chart at the moment. If price can flip this, then I'd be looking for the yearly. Can you pass the yearly? Then 47 becomes interesting. If price rejects here, from an Elliott Wave point of view, there's still the potential for C's to the downside. And still be bullish, by the way. Then you're going to be looking for this. WXY flat. But if that happens, right, you also have the, what's this doing? Potential of continuation down is always something we got to keep in mind, even though the probabilities are higher for bullish scenarios. But we take it step by step, level by level, and now we're here at resistance. Quite, simple as that. So we remain patient at resistance. We don't FOMO, YOLO, or catch knives here on the channel, right? It's all calculated risk, and hopefully you have your own plan and your own strategy as well. Real chat, 1 minute and 1 tick. Yeah. Yeah. Real chat, watch the volume charts with like 10K. Just goes. Oh man, they tell stories. What's up? How you doing? Hey bro, when it will drop or will go up? What do you think? We're observing the reaction. We're now in the middle of 2 scenarios. So we just observe the reaction. We're at resistance. No one knows what will happen. We trade probabilities, and we had over here locally, right, when price had this candle and then came back up here, probabilities increased to take the high, take the high, take the high, because price then moved above the white box here as well, touched the local 886. So yeah, nice little move, and now we're at the next resistance area, right? So we just remain very patient, and there's no need to YOLO, FOMO, catch knives unless that's your plan. If price can pass this box, flip the level. I'm looking for higher. If not, I'm looking for lower, right? So we just wait for price to show us what it wants to do, and give it a bit more time to range if it wants to. Observing the reaction, exactly. At the moment, no altcoins, but I will do a big altcoin stream coming soon. I know, right, Dow, I know. I need a soundboard with a couple of things that I say regularly. Same with the steps to develop a strategy, right? The 5 steps or the 6. Need a button for that as well. John Rudolph, what do you think will happen to the altcoins? I'm not an altcoin trader. I'm not involved with altcoins at all, so I wouldn't actually know what happens with the alts. I'm purely focused on Bitcoin as a trader myself. So I generally throughout the days I don't check any altcoins unless members would ask me, or unless I do an altcoin stream, which then in the title I put altcoins, and then I check altcoins. But generally I'm not involved, so I wouldn't really know what happens with the alts, to be honest. YOLO is my middle name. What are possible scenarios till Wednesday? Oh, just curious why you mentioned Wednesday specifically. I mean, the scenarios are then basically the same as what we're looking for now. So either you're going to be up here, right? Or you're going to be down here. So one scenario here. So the bullish scenario's got high probability because this high got taken. So either if Y is finished, you look for a move up. It's not the greatest impulse to start a structure with. So that's why we also observe a potential 3 waiver here to the upside, which could lead to still a bullish scenario, but then this one here in a flat, WX flat in Y, and then turn around. So on Wednesday, you could still be very much inside this range, but then at the lower end, potentially. If price cannot manage to get past this resistance, which we are now. If price can pass this resistance and price takes this high, probabilities are higher to pass the yearly. It's still a very important level, so I definitely observe the reaction, but generally probabilities should be higher for continuation. So there's of course also the scenario where this is then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You hit the yearly, you come down in a 2 and then continue. Right? That's something we have to consider in this scenario. End of Y, this is your 1, your 2, and then you move up. So you will reject it the yearly. So on Wednesday, we could still be around the same kind of prices, no? Short in Puerto Rico. What's up? How you doing, Douglas here? Hope you have a good morning. Wait. Day. What is your current position at Bitcoin? Long, short, no involvement. My current position, I like the word no involvement because what my trade is irrelevant or is not relevant to what your plan is. So make sure you have your plan, your strategy, trade your plan and your strategy. And be patient for your plan to hit. I rarely ever talk about my positions, my portfolio size. What I like to talk about is statistics, making a plan, building a strategy, focus on what you can control, mindset, trading psychology, those type of things. Because everything that has to do with positions, position sizes, portfolio size, what I own and what I don't own is all personal stuff. And it doesn't help anyone. But what does help anyone is to give back my experience in the markets to help other traders develop their plans, strategies, psychology, So, yeah, that's my main thing. There is indeed a daily above the yearly. That is correct. In my opinion, Bitcoin will come down in a C wave. Yeah, we remain patient. For now, it's ranging here. Didn't yet hit the red line, though. Oh, 2 NPOCs? I don't have the NPOCs. So the thing is, these are boxes that are very old. I copied them from a previous chart that I used in the past. But then I moved to Coinbase because it's best for my strategy, because of the wicks on Coinbase. So what do I, weekly naked point of control here, but I don't know the exact. Maybe do I have it on my chart? Yeah, 47,300. That would be an interesting level as well. But I don't have the daily naked point of controls here. I would need to look for it. But it's very, those days are of course very old. So when I switch charts. Was it Atas? I don't know. I never went back far enough to look for those. We are not looking at alts today. I know, right? I know. Is it approved? Not as far as I know. And probably people would have said if it would have been approved. But this is such a small move, right? It's a very small move. Remember the fake news of the ETF thingy? Right? We had like an 8% wick here. Right? Look at the enormous size of that thing, no? That's what she said. So here locally, this move is just, it's peanuts, no? It can of course be bigger, but we first have to clear the resistance. Thanks, Yasin. Appreciate it, man. I like your profile picture as well. The bright yellow, it's easy to recognize for me. Fastest 9.5k today on ICP. Good afternoon. Congrats, Video Kingdom, man. Sounds like you had a very, very nice Monday yourself. Why do you think Elliott Wave works at all? Do you really think it's human psychology pattern based? Yes. Or something more fundamental theory? I mean, I suppose some traders will use Elliott Waves in combination with fundamentals. Others with technicals, like myself. I'm a technical trader. But in the end, what Elliott Wave represents is the buying and selling in the market. Like the waves are forming, of course, because of the buying and the selling and liquidity. And so it is indeed human psychology. You can change the decade, but you just don't change the psychology behind clicking that button. You know, like humans, of course, like take a very, very, very big group of humans, like very large scale, and they will always show the same shit. So with Elliott Waves over the past decades, for me, it's not that it became more difficult or easier, or, you know, not that I was alive many decades ago, but you know what I mean. I have counted all charts myself to practice in the past, but I don't have a feeling we're in a more complex scenario. We went from paper to, you know, now using computers, to TradingView, to AI and bots, and of course people can look at all the external stuff and all those developments, but I don't really mind what happens. I just read the waves. You know, it yeah, why not? It works. Yeah, you can always see the patterns repeating, and sometimes patterns are easier to read than other days, right? Some days are better, some weeks are better, but that happened in the past as well. Some days were difficult, other days were easy. Some structures are easy, some are difficult. You know, but it's all probabilities. What's up, Crypto Zero? If the ETF does come out this week, how low percentage do you think the market goes? Well, I'm not a fundamental trader, so I wouldn't know. What I hope is, I hope that the ETF is an enormous fake out, whatever direction. That's what I hope for. Either make people very fearful or incredibly bullish. Fake them out, make people YOLO, FOMO, and then turn around. That's what I be looking for. It's a typical scenario of buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing, or the other way around. Maybe depends on the result, but you know where I'm heading, right? So, what size of leverage do you use for your own trades? 1. Unless my stop loss is below 1%, then I need to go to 2 leverage. And if I have a stop loss below 0.5%, that's when I need to go to 4 leverage. No, wait. So any position size or any stop loss 1% or higher means I can trade with 1 leverage. Between 0.5 and 1%, I can trade 2 leverage. And then below 0.5, I have to go to 3 or 4. But I always risk 1%. So, yeah, keeping things easy. So that's the leverage I use. How is CVD? Well, it's just moving down as prices moving down as well. Possibly some bullish on blue, but I would prefer to see strength on the right side here. So see what happens there. Patience. We are at resistance. I noted 95% supposed approval. Yeah, it would be great to have a big pump and then a big dump, no? Good morning, Kun, you're a legend. Thanks, man. No shit show, just price action. Yeah, it's keeping things easy, I suppose, in a way as well. Not emotionally involved with the asset or marrying a position. It's just, we look at the chart and we observe our areas of interest. We have our strategy and plan, and it's just trading statistics. And look, once you have a lot of statistics, trading becomes easy, because you're going to remove the emotional side of trading as much as you can by trading statistics. You know your win rate, your risk to reward, where to put your stop. You know your entry requirements as well. You know exactly what you're looking for. So, And now we're at resistance. So as long as we're at resistance, yeah, price could fall. Only if we flip this, we move up. So yeah. Sees all a Bitcoin. Hello from Switzerland. That's such a beautiful country, Switzerland. What do you think about the ETF? Oh, nothing, because I'm not a fundamental guy. The only reason I know about the ETF is because of you, like you guys and some people in Discord. If it wasn't for you, and I would be trading by myself without a channel, I wouldn't even know about the ETF. I don't follow any news websites. I don't follow any influencers that talk about news-related things. Or I guess in a way, I am very niched down into my expertise, and I don't follow what really goes around. So I'm 100% technical. I also don't really focus on the fundamentals of Bitcoin even. For example, with ETF or news, or what Saylor is doing, or Elon is doing, or you know what I mean. So with the ETF, the only thought I have is I hope it's going to be a big ass fake out. That's what I'm looking for. That would be my preferred scenario. Whatever happens around the ETF, like pass, not pass, and that sort of stuff. I just hope it will fake many people out. Preferably, because of the trend, preferably faking them out bullish. Big move up, make people even more greedy, more YOLO, think they're gonna, think they think we're going all-time high and all that stuff, and then turn around for a big move down. That would be ideal, in my opinion. Koen's vampire confirmed. I want to see blood. I'm from California, where we serve the wave. Leave a buddy, serve the waves. We really appreciate you. Serve the waves, man. California. I was there October 2022 with my fiance. Man, that was great. So I know what you're talking about. We didn't serve though, but we've seen the waves. I would love to serve. More sunny environment. It's actually sunny today in the Netherlands. It's still cold. Look at the 2-hour candle. Oh boy. Wait. I thought I would see something. That's not bad. Yeah, it's just resistance still, no? So here you can see also the order block, a bit of the resistance. Patience. That's an interesting one. What are your top 3 indicators? CVD, CVD, and CVD. I don't use any other indicators than CVD. And with all the others, I haven't used them for a very long time, and I don't use them. So I can only recommend what I use, and what I use is CVD. For me, it's by far, but this is a personal opinion, right? It's just my way of trading. By far the best indicator. Like by a country mile. If there's people that don't know, by the way, what the indicator is, I made a video about it, which you can check here. Holy shit, we passed the 11K on this one. So this video here, and in Discord you can download a one-pager if you want to learn more as well. So you go to Good to Know. Then you have over here the website that I use, AGGR, my template over here, which is the new one, which is updated thanks to A, so it avoids some bugs. And the one-pager, where you see like a bit more, like basically what's in the video, but then summarized. You also have the video here, the click here button. So, yeah. CVD by far, it's the only one I use. How did you learn Elliott Wave? It was booked some kind of course. You said that you count waves since 21, but it looks like you have a good market sense. Yes, I mean that's of course practice, but and it's many hours. It's like doing a university study, I suppose, where you get better by repetition. as in anything really. So I learned, one second. Okay, I have 5 minutes till we have a meeting for the wedding with someone of the property that we are renting. So, okay, last few minutes of the stream. I learned Elliott Waves by studying like at university. So the websites that are in the description, especially the first link, Elliott Wave Detailed, right? Mentioned it earlier. That one and other info that I could find. And then I wrote down like so much in one notebook, and I have more notebooks as well. Just writing down the rules, I think, wait. I actually think look, you want to see my Elliott Wave start? How I started, like anyone. What's an impulse wave and what's a corrective wave? Some stuff there, and just put it on my, on paper. That is how I started. Just like anyone starts. And then just study. Never followed a course. I just used websites and information online and implemented. I stopped using Elliott Waves for 2 months because I got pissed off, and then got back to it, and because it just draws me in. And once you go into the Elliott Wave hole, you never come back. So yeah. Okay. Oh, it's not open because I have to put it on sharing. Everyone, I have to go in like 2 minutes, else I'm getting my ass kicked by my fiance. So best looking, Colonel. I'll remember. What's up, Battalion? By the way, Browning. It's a pleasure. What will be bigger, the pump or the bump? The pump or the bump? Well, with the ETF, I hope the dump will be bigger than the pump. So my criteria to trade, they are in diamond. I won't post these public. It took me years of losses, sweat, break-evens, and eventually profits to develop the whole strategy. Many statistics as well. So, yeah, I use CVD. However, how do you use it? Everyone uses the candles, but how do you use it? What's the combination of tools? What's the combination of price action, volume, order flow, candlestick patterns, RSI, stochastic, all that stuff. So, okay, I gotta move. Everyone, I'm sorry I can't go through all the comments, but I gotta go because I have a meeting for our wedding on the 9th of March. So I've been online here already an hour longer than I initially planned. It always goes like that, right? I love live streaming. I love chatting with all of you. So thanks for being here. I appreciate you taking the time. You know what I'm looking for locally, right? We're just observing the range here at resistance. If we can move above the box, well, this can be interesting for upside, but waiting for a range to form and get some more clarity, right? So have a nice day. And I'll speak to you very soon. Of course, tonight at 7 p.m. Central European Time, there will be an update, which then will be a video, most likely, right? So thanks for being here. And I'm going to catch you later again. Bye-bye.